little bit of review to make sure that you're ready for tomorrow's assessment. You're not doing the whole assessment. I only assigned a couple of problems. We're just going to be checking to make sure that you understand the basic concepts of multiplying and dividing fractions and decimals. So on your blank sheet of paper, let's start by writing down this problem. 1/5 times 2/3. Okay. Can somebody explain what our strategy would be? You can click unmute to talk. If you can explain how we would solve this. Let's have Julie. Julie, can you tell us how we would go about solving this?
You would multiply the numerators together, and then you would multiply the denominators together.
Awesome. Thank you. Summer, what would you do to solve this?
You use the bottom numbers to times.
I multiply the numbers on the bottom. What do I do with the numbers on the top?
You times them.
Yep, I'm going to multiply across the top and across the bottom. Thank you. So, Ava Wicks, what do I get on the top? 1 times 2.
1.
1 times 2. I have 1, 2 times.
2.
Yep. Eva, do you have your math tools with you? Your calculator or multiplication chart? Okay. Use those tools to help me with the bottom. 5 times 3.
15.
Perfect. So 2/15 is our answer. 1 second. Okay. Let's go to our next problem. 2/6 of 1/3. 2/6 of 1/3. Can you see that? There we go. Matthew, can you tell me what this problem is asking us to do?
Yeah, it's asking us to multiply 2/6 times 1/3.
Exactly. Of means multiply. Remember that? So I'm going to rewrite it now as 2/6 times 1/3. So 2/6 times 1/3. Now the girls just told us what we would do to solve this. Alma, can you remind us how we solve this problem?
So we multiply the numerators and the denominators.
Yep, multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. Great job. So 2 times 1. Who else is here? Nathan Bracey, what's 2 times 1? Just click unmute.
Two times 1 equals 2.
Perfect. And what about 6 times 3, Nathan?
Um, $18.
Perfect. So our answer is 2/18. This one can be reduced if it asks you to reduce. How could I reduce or simplify this one so that it's reduced all the way? Think of what number can I divide both of these by? Mrs. Nowitzki, do you have another way that you guys would talk about that? Simplify?
Yeah, we would just simplify. Typically, it's by 2 or by 3 based on the factors that you're using. So looking at the 2 on top, we would divide top and bottom by 2.
So can anybody help us do that? Feel free to unmute and jump right in.
$18 divided by 2 equals 9.
Perfect.
2 divided by 2 is 1.
Perfect. Good teamwork. So the answer is 1/9. So in both of those problems, we were just multiplying numerators and multiplying denominators. Anybody have any questions about that or want to do another one? Okay, now Summer, did you notice how I left my answers as fractions? Earlier you were dividing, I think, to make them into decimals, and you don't have to do that, okay? Just keep them as fractions.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Write down this one. 3 divided by 1/2. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so dividing. Does anybody remember the 3 steps to dividing with a fraction? There were like 3 letters that I would write on my board.
Keep, change, flip.
Good job, Summer. Keep, change, flip. So what does that mean I do? Who can help me with this one? Ava Johnstone. What am I doing with the first number?
What?
What do I do with the first number?
I don't.
Summer said we do keep, change, flip. So it's the first step.
So you keep that.
Keep that. Perfect. And then the next one is change. So what does that mean I do?
You change the fraction.
I'm not ready to change the fraction
No,
yet.
you
What
can't.
comes before the fraction?
I know you have to flip the fraction.
You're right. I do have to flip the fraction. Can somebody help remind Ava what we do with the division sign? Summer, go ahead.
Times.
Yep, I'm going to change this to multiplication. And then Ava, you're right. We flip the fraction. So this is 2/1.
And Miss Hall, one of the things that I was doing with my other math group is using color-coded the KCF under each part so that they could see. They just got used to doing the formula that way.
So like, label each one
Yep.
with a different color.
Yep, and you guys can do that. So when you see dividing with a fraction, go ahead and write KCF horizontally across. So you line it up so you know what you're doing with each part of that equation.
So you can see each letter goes with a different part. Okay, so now that I've done the KCF, we're back to just multiplying. I see that I have 2/1. What does that mean if we have a fraction with 1 on the bottom?
It means that there's one whole number.
It's a whole number, right? So we just use the numerator as the whole number. So this is actually just multiplying 3 times 2. I can basically just get rid of the denominator when the denominator is 1. So 3 times 2.
Six.
Great. 3 times 2 is 6. So 3 divided by 1/2 equals 6. Okay, we're going to do another division. We're going to do 1/5 divided by 4. So I'm going to put my letters up here. Keep.
Remember, as soon as you see that division symbol with a fraction, you're automatically going to think keep, change, flip, and you can write that across.
Each letter goes with part of the math problem. Okay. Now the first thing I'm noticing is that here I don't have a fraction to flip. So how can I make this a fraction to flip?
You can change it to 4/1.
Yep, 4/1, exactly. To make a whole number into a fraction, you just put it on top of a 1. Perfect. Okay, so now I've got to keep, change, flip. So what do I write first?
Remember, you're keeping that first fraction. It's just going to stay the same.
Doesn't change at all. Okay, what was next? Ava J.
You have to change the division sign into a multiplication sign.
Perfect. Good job. And Nathan Bracey, what happens to 4/1?
It's going to change to 1/4.
Great job. So again, we're back to just multiplying. So I multiply the numerators and then I multiply the denominators. Go ahead and solve that one. And Matthew, do you have an answer for that one?
1/20.
Perfect. 1/20. And again, keep it as a fraction. Okay, we got 2 more to go over. We're going to do a little bit of work with decimals now. So I'd like you to write 1 5/10 times 42 hundredths. Okay. So to multiply, it's been a while since we've done some of these. Remember, I'm going to pull out the decimal and I'm going to set them up in a standard algorithm. So I'm going to write 15 times 42 like this.
Oh.
But then over here, do you remember what we put in the parentheses?
Yeah.
What do we do there, Ava?
It kind of depends on the 0 and where like the decimal mark is. Like it's either tenths, tenths, hundredths, or thousandths.
Perfect. So the 15, let's look back at the original factor. It was 1 5/10. So what will I write here? This is 15
Tenths.
tenths. Perfect. Remember, we took out the decimal, but we can't just forget about what the value of the unit is. All right, somebody else help me with the 42 hundredths. What unit goes here? Think about how it sounds when I read that number. 42 hundredths. We have 2 places after the decimal spot. So what unit is this? Summer?
100. Hundreds.
Perfect. All right, well, now what do I do?
Multiply.
Yep, just multiply. So 2 times 5, 10. Carry up my 1. And then I do 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 more is 3. Okay, I've used my 2. Now I'm multiplying by 4, but it's really 40. So I'm going to put a 0 down here. And now I multiply by the 4. 4 times 5. I put down the 0 and I carry my 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 more
6.
is good. Okay. Go ahead and add. Okay, so I get 0, 3, 6. So you should have gotten 630. You see that? Anyone that didn't get that needs me to go through it again? Okay. So, okay. So now I have to deal with my units. I had tenths times hundredths. So I'm thinking of that like 10 times 100. If I multiplied 10 times 100, what would I end up with?
Remember to count those zeros.
Oh, I have a 0 here, a 0 here, a 0 here.
Oh,
So
1,000.
0 is 1,000, right? So my unit, my answer is going to be thousandths. So if I'm dealing with thousandths, how many digits are going to come after the decimal point? I have my chart over here. You see my chart? Decimal, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Also think of how many zeros there are in 1,000.
3.
3. So that means I need 3 digits after the decimal. So 1, 2, 3. So the decimal point is going to go before the 6. So I have 630 thousandths. Any questions? All right, let's go through one more. We're going to divide now with decimals. And this one we just did in a lesson at the end of last week, I believe. So we're dividing 1 3/10 divided by 2/10. So what's another way to write a division problem?
Fractions.
Like a fraction, right? So I can rewrite this as 1 3/10 over 2/10. How do I get rid of that decimal point, though?
Divided by 10.
I don't want to divide by 10.
Multiply.
Remember, you're trying to get that number bigger, right? The decimal's got to go to make a whole number. The decimal has to move over to make it a bigger number
Let's do this one.
because you want a whole number to use.
Okay.
So we're not going to divide by 10. What are we going to do?
We're going to multiply by it.
Multiply slice 1 by 10. Perfect. Okay. So when I multiply each one by 10, the decimal moves over one place. So what's my new fraction?
100.
What goes on the top?
13.
Summer, what's my new numerator?
The numerator is 2.
1 and 3 tenths times 10. The decimal moves one place. What number goes on the top?
3.
Not just 3. Don't forget about the 1.
13.
Perfect. Summer, I want you to help me with the bottom number 2. We had 0.2 times 10. Think about how the decimal moves.
Is it just 2?
Yep, you got it. Okay. Mrs. Zavitsky, do you want to talk about what we do with this kind of fraction?
All right, so with this fraction, because it's an improper fraction, so it's top heavy, we're going to have to change it into a mixed number. So you're going to take your 13, remember your fraction line is a division sign. So you're going to take 13 divided by 2.
Or I think how many times we go into 13?
So think about your factors. And 2 does not go into 13, but the closest number that 2 goes into is 12. So you think about 2 times what will give you 12?
6.
Yep. Goes in 6 times.
And then what is left over? If 6 times 2 is 12.
1/2.
Nice job. Yep. 1. And then you keep your denominator the same.
Now this problem started out with decimals. How would I write a half as a decimal? Does anybody know? Think about if I made this into tenths. If I was going to do 2 times something equals 10, what would I multiply by?
2?
2 times 2 is 10?
No. 5.
5, right. So that would equal 5 tenths. So what would go after my decimal? 5, right. When you think about decimals, writing a half is always 5. So it's half of a 10. Okay? So that's your answer. Anybody want me to do another one of those?
They're shaking their heads no, but I feel like we should do another one of
I agree.
those.
Let's do
How dare you?
We need the practice for 6th grade.
1 and 2/500 divided by 500. 5/10. Sorry.
Why did I know this was going to happen?
So 1 and 2/500 divided by 5/10.
So remember that division symbol, the operation is the same as a fraction line. So right now you should all be setting it up as a fraction.
I'm not changing any numbers yet. I'm just rewriting it as a fraction. First number on top, second number on bottom. But then I'm going to have to multiply them both by something to get rid of those decimals. So I have 1 and 25 hundredths over 5 tenths. So what should I multiply by?
10.
If I multiply by 10, this is going to move one place. Will the decimal be gone?
No.
No. So 10's not going to work. What should I multiply by? Summer, can you help them?
100.
Yeah, I want to multiply by the bigger one. Perfect. I'm going to multiply by 100. I have to do that on the top and the bottom. Whatever I do to the top, I do the same thing to the bottom. So for both of these, I have to move my decimal 2 places. So I'm going to think like this. So what's the new numerator? What's the new top number when I multiply by 100?
125.
125. And what goes on the bottom?
500.
Not 500. Look at the decimal where it's sorted, and it moves 2 places.
5,000.
So if it moves 2 places, that means I have to fill in a 0 after it.
Oh, 50.
50, good. Okay. Now what should we do, Mrs. Lewinsky?
So you're back to an improper fraction. You're top heavy, so we have to figure out how many times 50 is going to go into 125, or take 125 divided by 50. So there's 2 ways to think about this that will still give you the same answer. So we know that 50 can't go into 125, but we know that 50 can go into 100. So think about how many times.
How many 50s do we count to get to 100?
2.
Okay.
Great job, Ava. No, Ava, you were right too.
Oh, I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
Well, she's not unmuting. She's just holding up fingers.
Oh, I can only see 4 faces.
Okay, yeah, Ava Wicks is holding up too.
So we used 100 of 125. What's left?
So we know that 50 times 2 is 100. So now you're taking 125 minus 100. And what's left over will go on top.
25.
Yep.
Excellent. And then keep your denominator. Ooh, we can simplify.
Woohoo! What are we going to simplify by?
Now, typically I would tell my group 2 or 3, but looking at this one, I would do it by 5s.
I would too.
I don't know how you feel about it.
Then we're going to have to simplify a lot.
Not if
Okay.
we do it by 5s. We should be okay. I promise. Oh, no, maybe one more time. Just for you, Ava.
25 divided by 5?
Was that Matthew?
What's 25 divided by 5?
5.
That was
5.
Matthew. 5.
And
That
then
was so quiet.
I know his microphone is so quiet. What's 50 divided by 5?
10.
10. Great job. Now look at this. We have a fraction that has tenths, so I can easily change that into a decimal. 5.
I'm done.
We are done. So tomorrow, these are the kinds of problems that you're going to have to do for your assessment. Don't get rid of those notes. because you can use them tomorrow to help you. Okay?
We'll use them while we're taking the test.
Yup. Okay? So good job. If you feel like you have any other questions, let us know.
Miss Hall, did you record this?
I sure did.
I thought so because I could see the little record button in the top corner. So are you going to post this on Google Classroom?
Yes.
Okay, just because I texted a couple students to see if they would get on, and some of them did not show up. So I just want to make sure that they get it.
Yeah, I'll post it.
Oh, I thought that
That's
was
why you recorded.
on YouTube.
I recorded it. I will post it so you can rewatch it if you need to, okay?
Okay. Are we still doing the 3 o'clock hangouts?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yesterday it didn't
Right.
work. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't get on.
Yeah, we got tied up with some stuff and couldn't make it. So sorry about that. But we'll be there today, okay?
So I just spent 45 minutes. Oh, I
I just spent like a lot of time like trying to get on.
Yeah, it won't let you